Throughout the world, there are always different crimes, either taking place or are about to take place. Today, we count down 4 unexplainable crimes that has occurred to date. Number 4. Menacing helicopters in New Mexico. On the night of April 8, 1979, 2 Apache tribal officers were on patrol duty not from Dulce, New Mexico, when they saw a mysterious aircraft hovering about 50 feet off the ground with a powerful spotlight aimed at a field. A third police officer in the area believed it to be connected with recent livestock disappearances, as it was near some recently reported locations. The craft was never identified, but one person said he understood that the US military had developed a comparatively quiet jet-powered helicopter used in Vietnam and believed it to be one of those. 5 years prior to this sighting, on July the 5th, 1974, a white helicopter and a black twin-engine aircraft were seen by one Robert Smith Jr. The helicopter allegedly opened fire on him while he was tending to a field in a tractor not far from the Nebraska border. Neither craft had a registration mark, and police were unable to trace them. The presence and aggressive behavior of unmarked helicopters near numerous sites of missing livestock and mutilations increased apprehension in ranch owners regarding cultists in the area. Number 3. The missing Irish crown jewels. One of the most daring thefts of the 20th century occurred in 1907 when Ireland's crown jewels, which was valued at a $250,000, were stolen from a safe kept in the strong room of Bedford Tower in Dublin Castle, under the eyes of 4 men who had been assigned to guard them. Sometime between June 28 and July the 6th, the thief had first obtained keys to the tower's main door, and then to the strong room, and finally to the safe, where he must have spent at least 10 to 15 minutes freezing the jewels from their cases. And yet no suspicion had been aroused. A long investigation by Scotland Yard came to naught. The whereabouts of the treasure and the identity of the thief are still unknown. Number 2. The 3 missing keepers. As the supply ship Hesperus approached the island of Ellenmore off Scotland's west coast, there was no sign of life ashore. One passenger, lighthouse keeper Joseph Moore from a nearby island, who was also relief lighthouse keeper on Ellenmore, was specially concerned. The lighthouse had been dark for 11 days. Moore and the others searched the lighthouse, finding everything in order, although oilskin foul weather gear belonging to 2 of the 3 keepers was missing. Storm damage to a jetty suggested the possibility that the 3 men had been swept away by a giant storm wave. To date, no one knows what has happened to the 3 missing keepers. Number 1. Mystery of the Locked Room. Isidore Fink was shot dead at 10:30 p.m. on March the 9th, 1929 in the back room of the 5th Avenue Laundry in New York City. The police were alerted by a neighbor, Mrs. Lachlan Smith, who had heard screaming and the sounds of a struggle. When the officers arrived, they found that the door to the room in which Fink lay were locked, so they gained entry by lifting a small boy into the room through a transom window. Fink had been shot twice in the chest and once through the left hand, which showed signs of powder burns. No gun was found in the room. There was money in Fink's pocket and the cash register. At first, police theorized that whoever shot Fink, who bolted the laundry doors when he worked at night, had climbed through the transom window. But the window was small, as was the boy who was hoisted through it, and the question of why an escaping murderer should climb through a small window instead of leaving by the door seemed unanswerable. A second theory was that Fink had been shot from the hallway through the transom. But the powder burns on Fink's body showed that he had been shot from close range. More than 2 years after the crime, New York's police commissioner Edward Mulrooney called the murder an insoluble mystery. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to tune in tomorrow for a brand new episode.